Hello, 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 all. It's me again, Genevieve John. Well, we are not friends now, so you can call me Viv. Anyways, how have you guys been seeing the classes so far? Today is week 3, and we are basically now entering the grounds and the waters of everything we're about to. This whole class was actually made for. I'm super excited. Not that I would say that much. I'm so proud of myself for actually taking this initiative, and also very, very proud of you guys at work because I've been seeing your assignment, I've been seeing your sprint. You guys have really made a lot of progress from where you were. I've seen so many improvements already, right? Just imagine what we are going to get by the time we are done with this class. So yes, let's just go right into it because we have a lot to cover today. So today we are talking about finding your muse. Yes, this is kind of like a play word for the CNXT muse. We like to see all creators as muses, right? In muses, an inspiration where an artist get an inspiration, right? So we like to see that all our creators get an inspiration from themselves and, they produce, they're also the artists at the same time. So today we're actually going to find that inspiration, that muse in you today. Now, why does it matter to find your muse, right? Why should you find your inspiration from within? Why should it come from you? Why should it be inside you? Why should you be the one that is inspiring yourself, right? I think one of the reasons is that many creators crash out of the game because they spend all their energy copying trends instead of building a recognizable creative journey, right? You can see a lot of creators that try to do the 50-day hard, the 70-day hard. Yes, I have a very big issue against it, right? Especially when it's done, not in the right way. So I do have an issue with that. So instead of creators try to move to doing trending stuff, doing trendy sound, trying different things, that's actually finding what they want to do, right? And then that way they kind of lose their identity, right? Because they are trying to find the inspiration outside of themselves, right? Also, another reason why it matters is because chasing every viral moment without a foundation means that your audience sees you as replaceable. As a creator, what you want as a creator is that your audience will never leave you. You want them to stay with you forever and ever and ever and ever and ever. Come rain, come sun, whatever, they will be there for you. And that is exactly what you want, right? But when you don't have your muse, when you don't know where your muse is, when you don't know how to find your inspiration, that can definitely happen to you. You can, lose that foundation and start chasing every viral moment. Now, what does your muse mean? What does muse mean? Your muse is the intersection of your creative core, your personal uniqueness, and the ways you choose to express this. Like I said, in CNXT Muse, we see everybody as a creator, an artist, and the muse, right? You are the one that is creating everything. You are the one that is enjoying it. You are the one that is sharing it to people. You are still the one that is coming up with inspiration. Everything. It's you. You are the creator, you're the author finisher of everything, of your art, right? And so just to keep it simply, right, your muse, right, is basically an intersection of your creative core, your personal uniqueness, and all the ways you choose to express that. Now, the shift in the mindset. As you know, a lot of people will say that wherever you are is because of your mindset, because you're stuck in a particular belief system, because you are there, right? So to shift that mindset, we have to look at two things, right? What happens when you have your muse and when you don't have it? So without your muse, you are chasing your audience, you're diluting your identity, you're burnt out, right? You feel like you have to do 100 times of content every day. That's why people that actually believe in, posting 100 times in a day, 5 times in a day, 20 times in a day. You think that you have to do that. You're always chasing the audience. You feel like you have to dilute your identity, right? You feel like, oh, I need to be more I need to be more soft spoken. I need to be more agile. I need to have like a very, very pronounced voice. I need to, do more makeup. I need to do this. I need to do, you now dilute your person. Who you are is not that. You are probably not, like a very rage person. You don't always shout, but because you feel like a lot of people that are in the industry are already shouting, just like, oh yeah, makes sense. Let me also join them and shout, right? And you lose yourself, you dilute yourself and you dilute your identity. And then that definitely will result to burning out, because now most of the times it might not turn out the way you want it to turn out, because, obviously people can connect with you because of that. So it does not turn out the way you want it to turn out. And then, and you keep pushing yourself even further and further and further just to receive tiny, tiny crumbs. And that definitely will lead to burnt out. Don't get me wrong, as a creative, you're going to burn out. It's going to happen. But more often than not, when you do not know the direction, sort of direction, you don't know where you're going to, you don't have inspiration, you'll burn out faster than normal, right? Then the second one is when you have your muse. When you know where your muse is, you attract the right type of people. People that will come to you, will know you, they will like you. Last week we covered your audiences, what type of audiences that what type of creators that you can be, right? Where we look at two different types of creators. One, she's a light skin girl that wanted to be doing natural makeup for people, right? She'll attract people that want to have natural makeup, right? And we have the other one who is a fashionista that wanted to do fashion content for thicker girls, right? She's going to attract girls that are thick that also want to know how to dress well or have a very, very good sense of fashion, right? So when you have the right muse, you'll be able to attract the right audiences for your content, like people that actually come to you who actually want to take what you want to hear. They want to listen to you. They will actually get to benefit from what you're saying. Also, you also have a deeper connection. You deepen your connection with your community, with your audiences, with the general public, like I like to call it, right? So you deepen that your community, your connection with them, right? When you have your own sense of inspiration, which is your muse, then the next is that you grow sustainably. Now, I know it might seem like, oh, Genevieve, so this is all, what else? But I'm going to break this down. Like, this is the main key thing that we're looking at here, this mindset. How do you actually attract the right audiences? How do you deepen your connection? And how do you grow sustainably? So how to do this is where we move to the very important thing, which is our creator self-audit. Now, I want to take a pause here and just go back to all our last classes. The first two classes that we had the first classes where, we did a lot of reflection, but our reflection, we did it at the end of the class, which was our sprint. Then the second class, we did a reflection in the class. Now, if you want to really get the best of these benefits, the benefits of everything that we are doing, you need to do all of those reflections. They're very important. Like I said, you are your muse, you are the author, you are the creator, you are the arts, you are the artist, you are everything, right? You are the muse, right? So if you want to be good at what you want to do, you have to answer yourself a lot of questions, a lot of reflexive questions over and over and over and over and over again. So moving on, right, we have the creator's self-audit. For the creator's self-audit, the purpose of this is to help you get crystal clear on who you are creatively before you start building on the audience strategy and the foundation, which is going to be your foundation of your muse, right? So what does this mean basically? This means that, how last week we talked about who you are, what you want to be known for. We looked in depth about who ourselves is, and we keep answering that question week after week because it's very important. It's extremely important. So now I'm not going to make it crystal clear. It's very, very clear, even to you, to everybody, crystal clear. So now the importance of this self-audit is most creators, skip this step altogether. Right? And then they just jump right into the content production part of it, right? A lot of creators don't even know that they have to audit themselves. They don't even know what they need to do, They don't even know that they have to answer themselves these personal questions. They just like, they feel like the most important thing is for them to on their camera and just start talking to the camera, right? But yeah, anybody can on the camera and start talking to the camera, but you need to know what you want to do. And yes, don't get me wrong, not all successful creators got to do a self audit, but all successful creators that have been able to build a creation, a community, build it, grow it, sustain it, expand it, have done this, right? That's it. So if you want to build one, want to grow one, you want to expand it, you want to, sell something inside of your community, you need to do a self audit. Now, without knowing your strength, another reason why we do a self audit is that without knowing your strengths, your style, and your natural energy, you risk building a brand that feels forced and drains you, right? You feel like you will keep on coming up with a new identity. Today, I'm like, okay, I want to experiment on becoming, I want to be a fine girl. Tomorrow, I'm like, okay, I'm going to be a bougie girl. Next tomorrow, I'm so sorry I'm using girl because I'm a girl. I'm a girl, so I always tend to use girls, right? But yeah, so anyway, I feel like, okay, let me come as like prima proper. So I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna add like for now I have to be like an American UK body. I want people to not even like know where I'm coming from, all of those things, right? So you start coming up with like different angles that are not natural to you, they're not you, they're not your style, they're not anything, and then it will drain you. And it make you feel forced. Because in the whole ecosystem of creating content, right, where you have the content, where you have you posting out your content, when you have, your audience giving you feedback and you, right, the most important person in all of this is you, right? If you do not enjoy what you do, even if what you're doing is gathering you some kind of success, you're going to feel drained regardless. Yes, you're going to have the money in the bank. Yes, you're going to have the people telling you, oh my God, you're doing well. You're going to have the praises. You are going to have the accolades. But it doesn't give you any kind of joy. It's going to drain you. And that's not what you want, right? As a human being, what you want is to be happy. So, which is why you need to focus on that. Now, another reason why we're doing a self-audit is the self-audit gives you a map for the type of content you should create, how you should show up, and what will attract your ideal audience. I will not talk so much about this. Let's move on to the next thing. The next thing is our main audit area. Where exactly are we auditing? From last week, if you remember, I talked about that. This week, we are going to expand on our content style, right? And this is where it plays in our main audit areas. In our main audit areas, we have 4 sectors. We have our content style, our interests and passions, our modes of expression, and our personality and energy. Right? These are the areas that we are going to be auditing. We're going to look into it to understand who we are as a person, as a creator, and how we are going to show up online. Now, your content style, what's your content style? Your content style is your creative DNA. Right? The main question here is, what is my natural creative format, right? So this is not just about what you post now. It's about the way you naturally communicate and connect. Some people shine when they tell you a quick story in 15 minutes. Others strive in slow burn narrative and visual stunning edits. Let me tell you, I've met multiple creators that do the exact same thing, have the same features, very, very similar in the same industry, doing like they're so similar, but their content style tells them apart, right? They tell them apart. I'll give a very good example of this. There's this lady that does content online, Selena Kamar. Selena Kamar is a creator online, and she has a very specific content style. From her voice or the voicing that she used for her video to the way she actually does her content or what she actually puts in her content, you just know that this is Selena's creative DNA. This is her own. It looks the same no matter what, right? Now, this creative style, this content style that she's chosen to use, right, is because she wants to go into the skincare industry, makeup industry, right? And then she herself is also a very soft-spoken person, and so instead of using maybe, for example, like a different person that I can't remember her name, but there's a particular creator that comes online and then she teaches people on the kind of skincare product that she use and skincare product. Stylish babe, I can't remember, stylish babe or something, I can't remember. So I see her content a lot of the time. She too, she does almost very similar thing to Selena in a way, right? They're both in the in skincare industry. They're both telling you skincare products are really good from expensive products to high end products. You know, they're always talking about it. But one is showing you how she uses the content, how she uses the product. No one's telling you why you should use the products. But that one telling you, showing you how she uses her own face, right? Those are two different content styles, right? And then let's look at different types of content styles because we can go on and on about content styles, but let's look at the actual types of content style. The first ones are short and snappy clips, right? So these are bite-sized, high energy videos or posts that are designed for quick what impacts. You know, they have trend, they're very trending, they're very relatable, they're very humorous and quick tipping, right? So one of these could be, you know, this could be when you want to do skits are mostly categorized as short, snapping clips, right? Although now skit makers are now making their content longer, which we're going to talk about in the fifth week, right? Platforms and platform use. But now they're just making they're just to make their content longer. But initially, the content and skit used to be very, very, very short, simple, very, very catchy, very, very high energy. All of that. We have another content style, which is the long form storytelling, right? I am in so many people's. I'm following so many stories at the moment. I don't know if you guys were following the story from that lady that fell in love with her psychiatrist. I've been following so many stories, right? I follow story part one, part two, part three, part four. Catch me there. I'll be there. I will be there, right? That's another form of that's another content style, right? You know, it's deep dives, right? It is very, very expanded and extended. And, you know, there's like explainers, there's like a lot of personal stories, there's a lot of gisting inside there, right? Then we also have, the one another content style, which is comedic and skit and satire, which this is mostly I won't say this is mostly satire instead of comedy skits, because and the only reason why I put comedy skits there is because nowadays skits making is now like very, very extended, right? Instead of the 5 second that we used to see from the OG Tiger days, you know, and crazy clown days when they would just make like short clips of the father slapping the boy, like 10 seconds is done, right? Or Ajebo's videos of, you know, the akara and the beans and bread stuff, right? Now it's now extended and it's now long. There's like storyline, there's different plots, you know, with the trend boy and the all and this new guy that just came up, two glasses, right? So they are now making it extended, but this is more on satire, right? Where they say something that is much more, it's like they're showing that they're trying not to insult anybody, but they're insulting people. I would say this is mostly for people like I don't know. Today my memory is really failing me. It's really failing me. There's like a lady, I don't know, it's Ada. She's on TikTok and then she comes and she talks about like the issues that's happening. I remember that I followed her coverage of the in DBS stuff, DB and Two Face saga. You will know her. I wish I can be putting that picture, but like the editing for doing that to be too crazy. But yeah, I loved her stuff. Like it's very satiric. She was really one of the few people that actually started this allegedly, and this month allegedly, right? Very satiric and all of that. And so I think also Deca Jug content can also be considered as a satiric, you know, content, right? It's humor driven. You know, it's based on very relatable scenarios, and you know they have very cultural commentary in them. So, and it's best for personality led brand social commentary and viral words, because you think those content would definitely go viral. Like the fourth example here is educational how to content. This is one that everybody know. Everybody know this one. Everybody know that if you are into makeup, you have to do a tutorial. If you're into stuff, you have to do a how to step by step to tutorial guidance, tips, all of that. These are things that people feel like every creator should do, every coach should do, every expert should do, every skill based anybody should do, right? But this is just number 4 of the list of the content styles that you can actually do. And there are 6. The 5th one is lifestyle and behind the scene, right? This is where your vlogs come to play. Right, your vlogs come to say or show your day-to-day life, your work process, your real moments, all of that. These are best for creators that are trying to build a parasocial relationship with their audience. What this means is they're trying to like make your audience feel like they're part of your life way more than they actually are. Right? So that's like another concept. And this is a concept that I also feel like apart from creators can do that, business owners can do. I will see them do that a lot of the time. Obviously, like founder stories founders coming up to come and tell show us their own lives that they did in the life of a CEO. I know all of you guys have seen content like that. Then we have the 6th one, which is a very interesting one, which is the hybrid format. Because a lot of people will say, okay, does it mean that I have to choose one content style? No, you can always mix your content. You can always mix the content styles, right? And that's what makes you unique as a person, right? Some people can do lifestyle content and mix it with long form storytelling. They mix it with how to educational content, and that would be their own content. So people can do long form storytelling, but they are short and snappy clips, and then make them do part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4, part 5, right? So people can do long form storytelling, tell you about the story, something that happened, while they're showing you a tutorial of how to do your makeup, how to apply your foundation properly, and they put part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4. Like we can actually mix them up. There's nothing wrong with mixing up, the formats. And these are best for multi-passionate creators, right? When you have a lot of passion, when you have a lot of creativity, you are very, very and fully faceted, you can actually do multiple styles of content for sure. And that will not confuse you guys in a way that it will not confuse your audience, because that is actually the most important thing. Now, why does it matter for you to actually understand your content styles and actually work on refining it correctly, right? Your content style determines how your audience consume you, right? Are you quick? Are you the quick hint of inspiration? Are you slow? Are you a meaningful read? Right? Is it? Am I getting fast information from you? Right? This matters because it tells your audience, and this is like if you are someone that like to watch long for like me, I love long TikToks. Like I would watch a TikTok for 20 minutes. If TikTok can keep their videos to 20 minutes, I will watch a TikTok for 20 minutes. Like the stories are always crazy. They're always the best stories. So I love TikTok content as well, right? And these are the kind of, so that means I'll always consume content that are long, right? So that's why you have to choose your content style, because it also attracts the kinds of audiences that would actually consume that particular kind of content and streamline it for you, so that you know that, oh, these are the kind of people I'm trying to attract, and these are the kind of content that they would actually, like. Now listen, guys. I don't know if you guys now think now that you're forgetting about our slogan that we should forget about the audience. We did not forget it. We did not forget it. Still forget about it, but that was a very awkward pause, but we'll move on. I really hope that we are understanding what is going on here, right? Because I feel like one of the reasons why I didn't want to bring this particular topic forward is because I really want you to really forget about the audience. They're not really that important, but it is fine. All for our knowledge, because we need to move forward. We need to keep learning, right? Our audience are important, but they are not as important as you. Right. So if your audience wants long form content and you cannot create long form content, what are you going to do? you kill yourself? You can't kill yourself. You can lie that you are interesting or you have many things to say, but you don't, and you don't. I need to tell. Right. So the next thing is what you get remembered for, right? Like I'm trying so hard to remember this particular girl. And I know her name is Ada. Her name is Ada. She calls herself Ada, but her name is Ada. So I know her name is Ada, and I really love her content. Whenever I see her content, I'm sad. I know that I'm about to hear a premium gist. And the way she says it, like the way she's telling you about what's going on, right? It's satiric because like she's talking about very, very pressing issues, but they are always satiric. Like she always uses a lot of satire when she's talking. Right. So whenever she's talking, I'm always like, I'm here to listen to you. I want to hear that satiric thing you want to say. And then apart from that, she's also very, very funny too. Like she's extremely funny. She's very funny. Right. She really says a lot of things. Like it makes sense, but she also add a lot of comedy to it, which is something that makes me enjoy the content even more. So I remember her content anytime I'm thinking about, oh, I want someone to say something crazy. Like I want to hear someone's opinion about this particular person issue. I go to her place to go and listen to. I want to hear what she wants to say. I'm interested in what she wants to say. I really, apart from the idea that she had, I really want to know how she's going to say it because it's very interesting. It's very interesting. I want to like stay there. But if you know these people that I'm talking about, forget like for some reason today I've forgotten them. But if you know them, just drop a comment of their name in the comments box so that I will not forget again because like this is not good, right? The next thing that matter that next thing that your content style actually determine is where your growth accelerates, right? So the right style often determines which platform you will dominate first. I'm not gonna go into this one too much because it's basically our week 5 topic, right? Platforms, like what platforms and why you should choose what platform and what platform you should post that on and what you should post on what platform, right? So that's our week 5 topic, right? So we're not going to go in depth too much, but the main thing is that when you know the kind of content that you do, you already know that you cannot do long form content like Ada does on Instagram, because Instagram does not allow you to post more than, I think it was 2 minutes or 1 minute 30 seconds, right? So you know that you can't even post a video that's up to 30 minutes on Instagram. So where do you post it on? To YouTube or TikTok. So that is basically the concept of that, right? So the idea here is that the best style for you is the one that you can sustain for months, without feeling burnt out, or even if it doesn't match the hottest trend right now, right? So which basically means that it has to be something that, like I said, remember when we talked about your passion, your talent, what you are good at, naturally good at. So it has to be something that all of these are very naturally good. You're actually naturally good at it. If you are very good at teaching people, of course you should focus on doing a lot of how to tutorials. If you don't know how to speak to people, like you don't know how to like really speak to people a lot, you don't have any business with doing how to videos, right? If you don't know how to, edit like do mad edit, you have no business trying to create creative, mad editing content, right? So you have to like push your content style to what you're actually, naturally good at. Now we're looking at the next, main audit, like our next personal audit that we're looking at, which is our interest and our passion, which is basically your creative fuel. What actually fuels your creativity? Again, I'm putting questions at everything because I want you guys to actually write down your questions and draft out your answer. It's for you, it's not for me. For you. It's actually going to help you answer the sprint at the end of the class. Right? If you actually follow all of the questions, processing all the questions that we're answering, the reflections that we're answering, all those questions, if you're following them and you're answering them as you go, by the time you get to the sprint, it's very easy for you to do it. It just come to you very, very natural. Right. So here the question is, what topics could you talk about endlessly without losing your energy? And I will take myself for example here because I don't know anybody in mind, but for myself, I can talk endlessly about anything marketing, anything communications, anything content creation, social media. I can talk endlessly. You can call me middle of the night. Like, what kind of content will do best for me on TikTok? I'll tell you. I want to sell a fan. I want to sell this fan. What kind of content should I do with this fan? I'll tell you. I want to sell a lip gloss. What kind of content? Like, right? So it's already an interest of mine, right? Which has now become a passion, right? So these are topics that you can talk about endlessly without losing your passion or your energy, right? So you naturally even bring them up like in conversations. If you've ever spoken to me outside of work, like you have met me outside, we've talked, we have a conversation, I will find a way to tell you how to, do your marketing better. Like I always find a way to do it, right? I even research it for fun. Like I can sit down for hours looking at the past Coca-Cola's ad and like try to figure out why they even did it, how it worked. Like it's fun. It's fun to me. Like I have a very good time. And I know everybody, have a good time with the things that they actually, have a very good interest in and a personal interest and a passion for, right? So they are the well, ha, today I can't read though. They are the well you keep returning to. Yeah, even when you are tired, uninspired, and not getting the instant results. You would think that I did not write this thing by myself when I wrote it too. So when you feel tired, when you're uninspired, you just keep coming back. I remember when I started my career as a marketing person, I diverse, pardon me. I remember when I started my career as a marketing person now, and I wasn't doing well. Like my social media campaigns were flopping back to back. I'll do one, it's a flop again. I don't know how to flop even harder. It kept flopping, kept flopping, kept flopping, kept flopping. And I felt very, very discouraged, like continued. But I I still found myself coming back because I was interested. I was really interested and really curious, like knowing how to actually get it done. And now I'm good at it. Like I'm very good at it. Like if I really look back, I'm like, from where I'm coming from, I did a very good job, right? But and the only reason why I was able to continue, there are many things that I have done in the past that I've actually given up on. I don't really care that much about them because they're not my interest, they're not my passion, right? But this is my passion, this is my interest, and I keep coming back to it. And we all have that thing. I'm not saying that everything that have not worked for you is interest and passion. Please don't take my words out of context, please. Now, looking at the examples of our interests and passions, right? The first example of the interest and passion can be cultures and trend. There are people that have very high interest in memes, in update, in fashion update, in pop culture, all of that. That used to be me. I used to have a lot of interest in, pop culture, all of those things, movies, updates, right? I think I'm going to use myself as an example throughout the entirety of this whole thing, so that you can really visualize what I'm trying to say. When I was about 5 years ago, right, in my late teens, right, I really thought I was going to be a movie commentator. I felt like I was going to be Rotten Tomatoes of Nigeria. I was so sure that I would be writing blogs and vlogs of movies and telling people why they should not watch this movie and why they should watch that movie, right? That was my interest. That was my passion, right? So, and I wanted to do that through commentary videos. Like I wanted to talking about those because that's the only way you can talk about culture and trends. You cannot comment people. How do you become this thing, an actor? You can't, right? You have to commentate on certain things, right? So those are the kind of content I wanted to do. I wanted to be giving my reaction videos of those kinds of things, reviewing movies. That was what I wanted to do. That was my own passion, right? Then I was like, okay, how will I do this passion? How will I actually express this passion? Right? Then I decided, I was like, okay, our content style. What is our content style? What will be our style of content, right? And then I was like, okay, is that I'm going to post it on YouTube? I'm going to post it on Instagram. I'm going to post it on TikTok. I don't think TikTok was not even a big thing at that time. So I had that potential for me to actually expand and grow. So I was like, okay, YouTube, I'll make full long 1 hour video talking about the whole movie. But now you see how that is wrong, right? But then I didn't see it. I'm like, 1 hour, I'll talk about the videos about the movie. That is also a 1 hour movie. And then and then on Instagram, I will make all this very snappy artwork, graphic, and I put on Instagram. Tell people this is the reason why you should never love Will Smith, because Will Smith basically spoiled so and so movie that he did so and so time, and then it should just be like a clickbait for you to see how much I love Will Smith. So that was the whole plan. And then for TikTok, I just come and be creating all those reaction videos where you're like, oh my god, wait guys, wait for it. Right, so that was my own interest, and you can already see how I was already I didn't even have an idea of what I was doing at that time. I was just I already had an idea of how I'm going to dress and pull out all of these things, right? So when you have that interest and that passion, you know exactly what to do. So you need to streamline what exactly are your interests, what exactly are your passions, right? Is it music, is it cultural, is it creative? I kind of broke them down into the description of what it actually is, right? So the creative arts, a lot of people, nowadays people actually review music a lot, right? They share, they're reviewing the music by creating ads, by creating design, by creating dance, or even music, another music of the music that they're trying to review, which is like the covers of those songs, right? So they can be, their tutorials, can be like, and a very good example of this particular one, because I remember when I was writing this particular one, I remembered Charlie Puth, right? The way Charlie Puth actually, started putting out his content on TikTok. Please, you guys, look at his work. If you ever have any interest in, reviewing artwork, music, or any kind of creative work ever, Charlie Puth's method of creating content is literally beautiful. Another person is I want to say Limbrit, but is it a Limbrit or John Legend? But I feel like I'm mixing the names. But regardless of that, they have a very, very unique style of expressing that stuff. Charlie Puth stocks do more of behind the scenes and tutorials, while Limbrit do a lot more behind the scenes, and it is pure art. In short form content, it's pure art, beautiful, right? So they're able to actually understand what they're interested in and put that interest in every single content they're doing. Let me bring it back to other smaller creators, right? So another one is wellness and self-growth. See a lot of people trying to do mental health content. Look at someone like Aproko Doctor. This is another lady that does gym content. Tell you what kind of places you should go to, what kind of gym you should do, why you should not buy tummy fats teas and all of those stuff, right? All those brands, they can do their content through, money routine. They can do it through talking health videos. They can do it through journaling prompts. All of those things are mindset advice, right? Which a lot of people now kind of are doing. They just let every other content style and just focus on mindset and advice. But also, it doesn't also mean that you can't also do other. The potential is literally endless. It's completely endless, right? You can literally get a lot of things, right? Now, let me give you a good example, because I really don't want to jump over this, because I think it's very important to. We also want that want to always give advices to a certain group of people, right? Especially on wellness or self-growth, right? So maybe you are a graduate, you're a recent graduate of mass communication. You want to tell people how to graduate from mass communication, right? You can do that. You don't necessarily have to sit down and be telling people how to do it. You don't necessarily have to sit down and say, okay, today let me tell you how you should pass your course. I want to tell you today how you should fight your lecturers, whatever. No. You don't always have to do that. Other ways you can. Remember how we talked about how you can mix your content style. There are multiple ways you can mix that content style into still talking about this same interest that you're talking about. You don't have to do it the traditional way, right? And also, moving to the next one, which is entrepreneurship, right? We see that's what I was saying about, a lot of creators, a lot of entrepreneurs, and a lot of CEOs right now are doing a lot of relatable videos where they're taking us through the days of their life, right? So if the entirety of your life is you being a CEO, is you being an entrepreneur, is you being someone that's building your small scale business, if that is the entirety of your life, we don't have to now create a new thing, a new interest, right? There's a core interest in your life. There's a core thing in your life. You have a business that you're running at the moment. Doesn't not mean that you should now start, because now you want to start your content journey, you now forget about your business. That business has become completely useless. It's no longer an interest. This is no longer, what you are doing, right? That is a lie from the pits of hell. No, that is where you should put all your energy in, right? You see people like Shine On Cosmetic, right? I really like that girl. Like, I have my own personal reservation about her. I'm not going to lie, but I really like the way she does her content. Like, she has mastered her own style, and it's very unique, very recognizable. Business owner should do the same thing. She knows that she's a fine girl. She knows that she wants to make a lot of money. She knows that she'll have a business as well. And she finds a proper balance between all, and then she mixes them into beautiful, well-created content. And that's a lot of things I love. I see a lot of these business owners, even on this in our class in this session we saw a lot of people applying. They said, okay, I've not started my, I've not started my content journey because I'm in school. I'm not started my content journey because I'm working. I'm not started my content journey because I'm trying to, like, put some things in place for my business. That's an amazing time for it to actually do, because it's your life, it's reflecting who you are, except that only if you don't want to put that part of you out, right? The main key things about all of this interest is just for you to see how wide range and how far apart this interest can be, right? You can have interest in so many things, right? In culture, in pop culture, in trends, in beauty, in fashion, all of those. I didn't want to have fashion and beauty because we already know that's like a very, very very, very known interest point, right? But you can have a very wide scale of interest, right? It doesn't necessarily have to be, what you already know, fashion, beauty, lifestyle. No, it can be so many other things, and allow yourself, and then make sure that whatever interest you're choosing to put out there is what you're comfortable with. Right? If you're not comfortable with talking about your business, do not put your business out there. Not say that's because I say you can't put your business, you can't put your business out there. No, if you're not comfortable with it, please do not leave your business aside, right? You know how to do it. I've had my business for the past 5 years, and I don't think I've ever done an ad on my business. I've never even promoted my business because that's not where my lead comes from at the moment, right? And I've never really go around telling people, oh, this is my business, my business. No, people don't even know the kind of business I even do. They have absolutely no idea what I do to make money, right? That's a personal choice. But I can come, you will see me a lot of times do videos, makeup video, whatever. You think I'm a struggling content creator, but like I'm a businesswoman, right? I'm also a creative, right? So you show the part of you that you are actually comfortable with actually showing. You don't have to show every part of you, because I say find who you are at your core. You now know what part of you are willing to share with the general public, right? Because it's this your passion will actually maintain. I mean, it has to be something you love, because it's going to sustain your momentum, right? It's going to sustain your momentum throughout the entirety of your of your um of your journey, right? So now let's look at why it matters, why it's important for you to have, your interests and passions aligned, right? Yeah, you really hear passions sustain momentum. When you care deeply, you will create even when you are not in the mood, right? Even when you are tired, when you are exhausted, when you have a bad day, you will still create, still, because it is a passion of yours, right? Another reason why it matters is because they shape your brand story, right? It will become the core of who you are, the core of your brand. Your brand story and growth will revolve around that particular thing, that your passion, be it fashion. And if you see Frances Tiedo, know that at her core, she loves fashion. She's in love with fashion. Another creator is this thing called fashion, right? This thing called fashion. She started her creation journey just reviewing amazing pants, right? I remember she would just come do lots of videos about pants, like very long, full length pants and all of that. Like, because it was very, very few, designers that were creating long, full length pants at the time. When she will come, she'll create that kind of content on that, and it was just absolutely beautiful. We loved it. We ate it up every single time that she brought it up. We ate it, we ate it up. We ate it up so much, right? And so, your passion will sustain that momentum, right? And then it will also shape your brand story. Anytime you see this thing come from, you know that, oh, she's definitely here for a fashion something. If you see her anywhere, you're like, oh yeah, this is a fashion something's happening there. But so it shapes, even though maybe she's not there for a fashion thing, but it does definitely shape her very well. It also attract the right type of audience, right? It attracts people that actually share that same interest as you as a creator, right? Anybody that actually follows someone like Ada I was talking about, I know that you like gist. I like gist like mad. Like I can gist from today to tomorrow. I will not get tired. Huh? I love a good story. Tell me a good story and I'm sad, right? So I did shows like I'm not mad about it. I'm not gonna hide. I'm not gonna hide that, right? Not like I like to gossip, but a good story. Like I love a good story, right? So it will attract the same kind of audience, people that actually like the thing that you like, and that's what you want. That's why I said that you don't have to be threatening your audiences, because if you are attracting the right people are finding you, They will like your content, they will comment, they will share, they will follow you. Because I find someone has did something that they like. They will watch your video to the very end. Even if they don't like it, that's their business. But like they will watch it, they're going to remember you. I don't think I'm following Ada. Huh. I try to remember her name, but I feel like I'm doing her the service, right? I think this will make me to follow her now. I'm not following her, but if I see her video, I am sad. I am very much like sad. Like I remember the last time her video came on my For You page, I was making tea to go to bed. I just paused the video because I on my TikToks were going up in the background, right? I'm doing stuff. I paused it, saved the content, finished up my tea, sat down, entered my duvet, right? And then unpaused it, right? Played the video and then just continued enjoying it. And I was laughing. I was like, oh my god, this is bliss. This girl was making me laugh my freaking pants up. I really love her. Really, really love her. Good stuff anyway. So that was gonna happen. You're gonna attract audiences that actually care about your content. They will just follow you. They will follow you. They will like your video. They will comment on your video. They will talk about they'll talk about you. And you everywhere, right? Now you think that the only reasons why I call these creators because I'm in the industry. No. I know other creators that do very, very similar things that they do. Right? But I only mention the creators that I actually like. And that's the truth. I wasn't mentioning the creators that I actually like. So if I'm mentioning a creator, I actually like a creator. That's it. So pro tip is for you to write your 3 passions and ask yourself, could I talk about this 10 different ways over the next year without getting bored? And if the answer is yes, if the answer is yes, that is your muse material. Remember our last week example of the natural skin, the light skin girlie that likes to do natural makeup, right? She can make natural makeup for literally anything. She can twist it for anything. So you see how that is apart from it being an interest in a passion, and she would always use it, so she can always come back to back on it. The next is the mode of expression. This is even more important than everything, right? The way you choose to express yourself is very important. Everybody have different ways to express themselves. I'll take myself for example. I'm not a great talker, right? This is making me to be a talker. I don't like talking too much or talking without a script, right? I always like to have like a scripted guide that tells me what to say, when not to say, because sometimes I will be talking and my passion will just take over. Right? I'll just like spilling and I'll even forget what exactly and why exactly I'm talking or saying what I'm saying, right? So you have to know what modes of expression you particularly like. I particularly really enjoy making slides. Like when I make my presentation slides, I am so happy, right? Making a document, writing down all the things, the pointers I want to talk about, that's the hard part. Like that's the hard part. I don't really enjoy that. Though that would take me like 10 minutes or 20 minutes to come up with like the whole entire pointer, right? Oh, I didn't know what I'm going to, and then I will not develop it later. But you see that slides. That slides can take me. It takes me sometimes 4 to 5 hours to come up with a slide with 20 slides, and sometimes I extend it to be 30 or 40 because I feel like I did not explain a particular one well. I'll break it down and I'll make it more explanatory. I love slides. That is my favorite thing to do. I love making slides. It's my favorite thing to do. I love it. I can do it today, tomorrow, next tomorrow, forever and ever and ever. I can do it every single day for the next year. I can do that. Like it's my favorite thing. So, and I feel like one of the reasons why I really enjoy expressing myself through slides is because I don't know how to say everything I want to say, but I feel like if I show you what I'm trying to say, you get it. And this particular, you would think that this is the kind of slides I'm talking about. This slides is kind of like not really my best work of art. Actually, I've done a lot of slides and I know that it's not my best because here I'm really trying to. It's more like a word guide than a slides of expression, right? But I think try my best to like make it as creative as possible. But like that's just to show you, how how much of a mode of expression this is for me. Like I'm trying to express myself, I know my limitation and I'm using my own key strengths, to adapt to my limitation. Let's move on before I lose my train of my thoughts. Right. The question yet to ask is, what is your preferred creative medium? What is the medium that you love to use a lot? Your mode of expression is the main way you communicate your ideas to the world. It's not about what is trending. It's about what feels most natural and energizing for you. And when you align your content to the right mood, you stop forcing your creativity, and you start flowing. I'm gonna come back to myself just a little bit because it's kind of relevant. When I wanted to start this year next year, right? I decided that okay, I have to have classes, and I wanted to do videos to have classes because I felt like I don't think I can do well in live classes. If you have been to any of our live classes, you know that I can explain one thing 5 times. Because I always have this very innate need to keep talking and explaining, right? So I was like, okay, I know that I can't do live classes back to back. Like, people are not going to get it. People are going to feel lost. I will explain you out of understanding into confusion. So I'm like, okay, what will be my best way? I was like, oh yeah, great, slides. Slides will be the best way. I already love this slides. Like, it just came to me like slides. I was like, I was even making a slide the day I thought about. So like, yeah, I love making slides. This makes me happy. This is my happy place. This is what I like to do. I use it to like relax and declutter my mind. Like this is my happy place, right? So how do I use what I love and help people and do what I want to do? Like do the thing that actually also give me a very good sense of fulfillment, right? Which made me to be like, okay, I need to do video. Now, when I was like, okay, then we did the video, I didn't want to have the normal last. That's not the way you see. The way I do my videos are not the way you see the regular YouTube video, because it's not even made for YouTube. These contents are not made for YouTube. YouTube was only the platform that was available for me to share this particular thing. These videos are not made for YouTube, but here we are on YouTube, right? Not a bad thing. I'm personally enjoying it. It makes my work so much easier, makes everything so easier. But regardless of that, I was like, okay, I want to create this content and I don't want it to have the, box at the side. I want it to see me. I want to be able to interact with you because I like to talk, right? I'm a talkative, right? So I want to be able to talk to you and I want you to feel like you're talking to me. I want you to feel like I'm talking to you and we are talking to each other, right? I want that personal feel, that personal approach, right? That was my own mode of expression, because I felt like you wouldn't really get me until you see my gesticulation, until you see my face. If you're listening to just what I'm saying, you might take a lot of things I'm saying out of context, but when the moment you see my smirk, my confusion, I'm very expressive and animated as a person, right? And I knew that. So this is my own mode of expression. This is the way I communicate with people. So I now use how I communicate to people and merge it into what I want to do. So I'm not doing what is trending, because what is trending is for people to sit down, in a podcast room and put a podcast mic, put a podcast mic and start telling people, talking to you. That is what's trending right now. I could have done that, but I chose not to do that because that's not what I want. That's not the key thing. It's not about doing what is trending. It's about doing what feels very natural to me. What comes natural, what I can do over and over and over and over again. I can create content anytime. I can just set my camera. I can create content anytime. I can always, make my canvas like anytime. It will seem effortless. It will look like a lot of effort that they put into that. But to me, it's effortless. I know 5 hours to create a canvas like is a lot of things, is a lot. But that is 5 hours of pure joy for me, right? So it is, it gives me that, that sense of fulfillment. And that's exactly what you want. Now, what are the modes of expression? We have videos, we have voiceovers, we have podcasts, we have photography, we have live stream and interactive sessions. All of us, we know this one. I really can't go in depth of this. When I told you the first video that there are a lot of ways you can express yourself, right? People were like, oh, no, just content has to be video content. I want to just stick to video content. But let me tell you something. Video content are one of the easiest ways to create content. It's not the best way, it's just the easiest way. So that's why I divided them into three, in a way. It's kind of three. if you look at it again, it's kind of four, right? So we have the video content where we have the talking head video, like you guys already know, your vlogs, your cinematic edits, your reaction videos, your tutorials, all that good stuff. Then we have the podcast. Even though now we have podcasts that are now being turned into videos, right? They're not able to like convert, an audio storytelling into an audio visual storytelling, which is absolutely beautiful. Like it's beautiful at the same time, but that is another, mode of expression. So people are very good at talking at length. They know how to come up like, things up fast and up and fast, right? They do know how to talk about things for up and fast, right? Some other people are very good at, creating videos and talking to you, shorter video, like going straight to the point, all of that. Then we also have the styled shots, documentary style, lifestyle snapshots, conceptual art, where you see people just post, like, especially on TikTok. I use TikTok a lot, and I use TikTok a lot to explain to creators the kind of content style to do, because the truth about the matter, why I use TikTok a lot to explain, because TikTok has a variety of content styles. Like, there's so many modes of expressions on TikTok, more than Instagram. Instagram have basically the same mode of expression that TikTok have, but limited. That's why you hear me say a lot of TikTok. Not because of I feel like Instagram is not useless. I just feel like I talk about TikTok enough. Like, there are some of them that are not even on Instagram at all, right? So that's why I talk more about TikTok, but just to put that there. So we have visual storytelling through, photography. These people, take pictures of certain things and they put like nice captions to it, right? Those are also modes of expression, like by seeing it. Like, some people know just take very good pictures and know how to like add like amazing, audios to that. Those things are also modes of, expressing yourself. Why does this matter? Because you know how to leverage your strength. You already know what is good for you, what works for you, and you just do it, right? I knew that for a fact that I know how to do my own slides. So doing slides was not going to be a problem for me. It is my strength. It's a strength of mine. So it was just very easy. It came natural to me, and I'm able to ride with it anytime, any day. I'm doing it, right? It's very easy for me, right? So you be able to create better. You be able to create more, and it will feel very, very natural to you, like very easy. It comes to you very easily. Also, you're able to sustain your consistency. In the beginning, a lot of us were feeling that our problem was consistency. And I feel like if you have gotten to this point, you know that your problem is not consistency. If you have gotten to this point or these classes and you still think that your problem is consistency, I refer you to go back to class number 1, week 1, right? Because right now, we know that consistency is never our problem, right? If you know what you want to post, if you know how you want to post your post, it will not be hard for you to post, except it's not going to be now consistency that your problem. It probably will not be procrastination and laziness. That's a different type of problem. That's not what we're teaching. That's not on the table for what to teach. But because when you do your mode of expression, right, you'll be energized, be able to show up easier. It will not be as hard for you to like come up and show up, right? And also you're able to shape your brand perception. I keep talking about I've said it again twice, right? Brand perception is very important because it builds what recognition, right? Because when people can recognize you, they were able to trust you. When they can trust you, you build momentum, and you can sell literally anything to anybody. When they can recognize you, they can trust you, and you're able to continue that. So yeah, your medium becomes part of your identity. So when they be like, oh, they're the one who does that 30 minutes storytelling reels, right? Like, I haven't speaking so much about Ada today. Like, what happened to me? I really miss her. I haven't listened to her in a while. I think that's what I need to go and listen to her again. So yeah, so like it was anyway. So like, yeah, that's the girl that does that, 30 minutes, stuff like, right? If you see 2 glasses, that's 2 glasses. You're able to recognize them because you have your own mode of expression, right? So the tip here is to ask yourself, if you have to make content every day for 30 days, which mode would you enjoy to use, and what would be your natural lane? A lot of you guys will say is video. But I urge you to look at the other ways, the other modes of content I have said. Because a lot of you guys is video. Definitely video. Trust me, you can make anything into a video. Video is the simplest mode of expression. It is so simple, But there are other modes of expression. I urge you to look into this. Now, these examples I'm giving, they're just one set, right? And because of the fact that if I added all the examples I wanted to add, this slide will be so long and this video is going to be so long. So I had to concise them to the main one. So I urge you to go do a little bit more research on the modes of expression that they are, the different ways that these expressions are even being done, and find the one that is much more natural to you. Right? Now the next one is personality and energy, which is your creative presence. We have spoken about our creative presence multiple times in this class. If you were following, creative presence is so important because that is how people know that this is this person. They can recognize, this is that person. She's the one that always sounds like this. Oh, this is her voice. Oh, this is the way she talks. Oh, right? It is very important. Your creative presence is more important than anything. It builds recognizability. It builds trust in people's mind, right? The question you should ask yourself when you're trying to find your personality and energy is, how do people experience your presence? How do they experience it, right? Your personality is the flavor your audience tastes every time they interact with you. It is not just what you say, it's about how you say it. Remember, I spoke about Ada again. I need to watch her video. Ada, there's another person that does the exact same thing that she does, says the same thing that she says, right? It's also very controversial, very satiric as well. But Ada's own is different because it comes with a twist, right? She has this accent that she puts to it, and this is what she uses, aprikwa. I love that. Anytime she says that, my belly, my heart, my mind, I am so happy. I burst out in laughter every single time that she says it, right? And I love the way she twists people's name. Like, the way she twisted Two-Face name to the man that is using Two-Face. Oh my god! Like, it's so creative. It shows in her creative depth. I know that she's a writer. Like, I just like from the way she talks, I'm like, she's definitely a writer. It's her own way she says it, right? She's still saying the same thing that everybody said when and Idibia and Two-Face saga was all over, was trending everywhere, right? She came up with she was saying the exact same thing that people were saying, that she was saying the same thing. I don't want to say it because I don't know what it was. I forgot to say. But the way she said it has made me to recognize her anywhere, even though that particular trend is over, I still follow her up till now because of the way she says what she says, right? That is her personality, her energy, our creative presence. I really, really vibe with it, right? So it's not just how you say it, it's not just what you say, it's about how you say it, it's how you show up and how people feel when they engage with your work, how people feel when they engage in your content, right? When you understand this, you will stop blending in and you will start building a recognizable creative presence. So now, how do they play out, right? So how do you play out your personality? How do you play out your energy, right? I can be a reserved person. I can be a reserved person. I can also be a very blunt person. Not even I am a very blunt person. I'm also very reserved. Like, I wouldn't tell you something if you don't ask me. Right? I mind my business very well. Right? I'm also very, very, very sarcastic in a way, right? Very witty and sarcastic. But I choose what angle and how I actually express my personality. I laugh a lot because I'm a very cheerful person, but in especially I'm very cheerful. Some people can say that I've never seen me smile ever. So people can say that when I speak to them, they feel like I'm trying to, enter them. Like, I'm really like, I am literally a thorn in their flesh. So you can say that because that's the personality I decide to, exude for this big person, right? So you can choose what ways you want your personality to show out. You can choose how you want your personality to show out, to be in your content, right? Because a lot of people think that when I said last week that being raw does not mean that you are so everywhere. So the role I'm talking about is not the role of so true. Everything is so true as it is in your life. you are every angle and aspect of your content. Everything that is in your content is every angle of you. No, that is not what I mean by when I say raw. Raw can be an aspect of you that you prefer and you're okay, you're comfortable with sharing that particular concept out. You know, when people say that your social media presence, your social media is not your entire life, it's a part of your life. It's just a very small part of your life. And I encourage you to focus on that. I encourage you to really remember that, right? When you are coming up with your own content pillar, your own content styling, and your mode of expression, you know that it's just one part of you, right? You can be a soft person, but actually, it's also a crazy person too. And you can decide that on social media, you're going to be a soft person. And if somebody sees you as like acting as crazy, doesn't mean that you're fake. It's just an angle of you. It's just a personality that you want to do based on what you want to achieve, like what you're trying to achieve, based on what the kind of content you're trying to put out there. You realize that with this particular concept, this particular content, particular personality or energy is the best for you. But we have the warm and relatable, where you feel like a friend to them, where you are like very laughy, you're very cheerful, you're smiley, very inviting and open, right? This will help build that trust and loyalty quickly. And it's also great for what community driven brands. Now, somebody that's trying to give professional advice, right? When you start becoming too friendly, people will not take you serious anymore. Especially when you're trying to, like, let's say for example, you want to talk to you want to train, mathematicians how to be a better mathematician, right? Some people like, oh yeah, you're trying to make mathematics fun, but people that are actually going to engage in your content will not be people that are really looking for mathematics advice. A lot of people are trying to like find new ways of finding mathematics fun. Do you see the way based on the way you approach your content, you attract a different kind of audience? Let me give another example. Maybe, for example, you want to be reviewing makeup products. And if you decide to read the makeup products to be very polished, clean, like you're always going to say, this lip gloss, it contains niacinamide, it contains tranexamic acid. It does not contain that. I did not say that. It's an example. It does not contain that. So you're like, it contains that, it brightens your lip, it bleaches it does, you do that, you are so polished, you're so prim and proper, right? You attract a different type of audience. Unlike someone that will come and, talk about this lip gloss, say, this lip gloss, so, I absolutely love it. Like, I am enjoying every single bit of it. You are focused more of how you feel. Like, you are very, Gen Z coded, might I use that word, right? You will attract a different type of audience. Apart from attracting a different type of audience, the way people will receive that content, these two content will be very different. You are talking about the exact same product. You are saying the same thing. The tranexamic acid you're saying is the same that is giving you soft lips. This person that it has making my lips soft. They're not just talking about the technical part of it, right? Which makes your two content now differ, right? The same with the way you put out your personality, right? Your personality is not just in your tone, not just it's your approach of the way you are actually, communicating with your people. Let me not go too much on the examples. I just go into what I have here in my slide. We have the aspirational and polished, where you inspire people, where you're refined, you're intentional, you have high production value, right? People that see that they see lifestyle, they see luxury, they see, clean, prim and proper. They feel like you are eating a lot of money, right? They also have the one that's witty, sarcastic. And let me tell you, all of these personalities can apply for any niche, can apply for any content style, can apply for any it can apply for any mode of expression. This personality can apply anywhere, right? You can be prim and proper in for makeup reviews. You can be warm and relatable for makeup reviews. You can be witty and sarcastic for makeup reviews. We see that dark skin girl that's always reviewing content. So like, is this the darkest shade? We know them now. We know them, right? Very witty, very sarcastic, right? It's still the same industry, it's still the same thing, it's still the same format, short form content, long form to content. But you see, the personality that you choose to explain or to, communicate that thing, is what differs, right? And that gives you a different thing, right? When you are, aspiration and polish, you inspire ambition, you attract luxury, you attract lifestyle, you attract like high end lifestyle. When you're witty and you're sarcastic, right, you become very highly shareable, because people are sharing it because, okay, you are, they want their friends to see, come and see what I saw. Come on, listen, I was telling you, somebody else said it now. Some people will share because they're like, oh my God, this person is just so terrible. Like, for many reasons, people share for many reasons, right? You become highly shareable. You connect with with audiences that actually share you the same humor as you are. If you are saying this in a very warm and relatable way, you build trust with people and loyalty with them. Whether they like the product before, whether they hated the product before, they will still like kind of trust you, and they will feel warm around you. Right? If you're now like analytic, direct, you're focused on the fact that the girl is always talking, "Hey, this is nice in mind, she has nice cinema, this is lip gloss." But she has found a way to say, this is a content style. There's nothing wrong with that. Don't get me wrong. It's a content style. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. But the fact that she is more focused on the facts, the analytics of it, right, change, it makes it seem like as if her content style is different. No, it's just a personality that she's deciding to use, right? The energy that she's trying to like proceed to share, right? So it's clear, it's precise, yet it's no nonsense. So what was that attract you? It positions her as a authority, as an ideal for education and problem solving. So when people are like, "Oh my God, I use this lip gloss. Is that why it is, making my lips shinier?" Yes, it has hyaluronic acid. I am so wrong with these choices of actives that I'm using. I'm so sorry. I just started my skincare journey, right? So it's reflecting in my choice of work. Now, why does this matter? It matters, but because it shows your tone and your pacing, right? It makes you know that, okay, I'm deciding that this is part of me. I'm going to like, this is part of me. This is the way I want to approach my content, right? And it's going to maintain that way. Like it shapes, it makes sure that this is how it's going to be for for forever, or for the time being, or the time you are choosing to be, right? So it will also determine those punchy one-liners, the your visual metaphors, your choice of caption. It determines a lot of things, right? That's why some people would think we'll see two different personality or two different energies and feel like they're doing different things, but they are not. The only difference is that this person energy is a little bit higher than the other, or the personality is more direct than the other person, right? It will not look so different and so distinct. That is how strong your personality and your energy has to be, right? That is how strong it actually like affects, your content style, right? It also builds an emotional connection, right? People will not follow you for the information, and they will stay because of your personality, right? I followed Ada. I didn't follow her, but I recognized her from her review of the Annie Dibia and Two-Face saga, but I stayed for her personality. Annie Dibia and Two-Face saga is done and done and done and dusted. But you see that personality, I'm still there. I am here. I'm sad. I'm sad. Tell me more, right? So another reason why it matters is because it differentiates you from the markets, right? Because two creators can have the same topic, they can be talking about the exact same thing, but your personality makes you unforgettable. They remember you, they will come back to you because that is what attracted them to you. Now, for you to help you, a tip that can help you, you can ask a friend or your follower, if you ask to describe my vibe in 3 words, what would that be? And let me tell you, the answers are going to surprise you. I think a few persons have already asked me this question before. Um, and when I told her what I thought about her content, she was like, "Oh my God, like I thought that I was giving fast content and all of that." I was like, "No, content is not about fast, but girl, baby girl, like I see your fat, but I feel like maybe you are trying to be funny." But then I realized that you're actually serious. So I'm sorry, but like that is what I'm getting, because we are humans and we are getting different energy. Even though you tell me that yes, with what I'm telling you, I'm giving you like a lot of information. I'm like explaining it in depth, but the way you will receive it, I cannot control that. That is up to you. That's up to you. Um, the next one is standard factor. What makes you stand out in the market? Ah, I've said this thing so many times. I've said it over and 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 over again. And I believe, and somehow in my mind, I know that I'm going to continue to say this. Like, I should not even start getting tired of it. Because some people always ask me, okay, so what kind of content should I do? What kind of content do you think I should do that will help me get to where I'm supposed to be? And I tell them that I cannot be the one to tell you the kind of content you are supposed to do. Not because of I don't know the kind of content I think you should do, but because of if you don't know the kind of content that you want to share, you answering me is irrelevant. Like that means you have to do some very, very, very deep thinking, which is why every single class we do deep thinking about who we are. Every single class, I keep saying, what kind of creator do you want to be? Because I want you to continue to remember that you are the most important person. Every day we're thinking about the kind of content we're supposed to share is you. You're the one that's going to share that content. You're the one that's going to bring out a personality. You're the one that's going to record the content. You're the one that's going to decide the kind of way you're going to express that content. You're the one that's going to communicate whatever you want to communicate. So the standard factor is you. You are the one that stands out. You are the one that stands out in the market. It's not even your content. It's you. Everything, how you do it, how you arrange, everything, everything about your content, everything revolves around you. Literally, it revolves around you. Most creators struggle not because of they lack talent, but because they blend into the noise. They feel like if I start posting more transition videos of my makeup, maybe people are going to care about me. People actually care about you maybe when you take out your makeup, because maybe your makeup is too beautiful, and they want to see if you're really beautiful when you're taking off your makeup. They want to see your processes. Maybe you do it such a very, very, with ASMR, I was like, it's very, very satisfying, right? So today's creators economy, you are the brand, and your job is to figure out exactly why people should follow you over 10 other people doing something very similar. In as much as I keep saying that you are unique, you are the muse and all of that, you cannot forget that there are other creators that also believe that they're unique and then they're the muse as well. And they have the same interests as you. They have almost the same skill set as you. They have a lot of very similar things as you. But what they don't have is you. And so that is why you need to understand who you are more than anything. Even if you don't know how to create content, but you know who you are, you will still succeed. And that's what they will see as a potential and decides to find a way to, use you to the advantage, or eventually you will figure it out, right? So you have to understand that there are so many people in the market, there are so many creators in the market, and you need to stand out of these so many creators in the market, right? Not just standing out for the audiences to like you, but standing out so that you actually provide more value, that people actually leave other creators just because they want to be with you. So how do you know how to find out your you factor, the standout factor? What makes you stand out in the market? How do you find that? It's what I like to call the overlapping circles method. In everything, there are circles of things that you love, you are good at, and people care about. Because even if you are posting content for yourself, you need to also think about content that they care about, right? People actually care about, or people are actually looking for people that can create content like that, right? So what you love, like the topics you like to talk about, the format that you are interested in, the experiences that you naturally gravitate towards, these are the things that you can create for free because they genuinely what excites you, right? So what are you good at? For example, whatever is your talent, whatever is your skill set, whatever is your strength that you can constantly deliver on. And they can also come natural to you as well, or you are developing them through, your experiences. Like, for example, for me, I really love talking about, I love, I love anything marketing. I love anything content. I love anything branding. That's my passion. That's my passion, my interest, right? What am I good at? I'm very good at creating videos. I'm very good at creating decks. Or I'm very good at video editing, right? I'm very good at all of these things. So I know what I love. I know what I am good at. Then I find things that people care about, right? In as much as I also like, in that same way that I love, helping creators become, better creators, I also love to do makeup. I also love to do my skincare. I also love to find my fashion sense. I love a lot of things. I have so many interests. I have way so many interests. Like my interests are so very plenty, right? But I have to decide, okay, from all the things I love to do, which one do I want to share with people a lot? Which one do I really care so deeply that I feel like I want to share with people? And that one for me is, helping creators become better creators, right? That is what I would prefer to share with people. Doesn't mean that my love for makeup has kind of like reduced. No, it has not. I still love makeup just as much. I still love skincare just as much. But this is what I'm deciding to do. The format I'm deciding to use that to express that through my skill of video editing and pitch deck design, right? Now, what people actually care about, these are the needs, the desires. You are here, you're watching this video because you actually need it. Now, do I also know that 1,000 people need it as well? Yes. But I decided to do it I decided to use this format because this is what I also kind of care about, right? I don't really want 1,000 people to like find me and use me to like learn things. No, I'm gonna help a few people first. Let's help them one by one. Small sample of people. We help them get to where they're supposed to be, and then if you do something right, people will know, regardless of that. And also because of where I am at currently in my own life, I do know that if I start handling thousands of students at the same time, I'm going to crash out, right? We know our strengths and we know our weaknesses, we know our challenges and we know all of that. And then you find that balance. You find the overlapping circle in all of these things that you are saying, what you love, what you're good at, and what people care about. Find the overlapping circle, and that will be the standard factor, right? So how do we find this overlapping circle, right? How do we find this overlapping idea? The first thing is to understand or to identify your core creative advantage. You have to ask yourself, is it humor that makes everything that you say more engaging? Is it that you have a very deep insight? Is it that you're very aesthetically pleasing? You have a very good sense of aesthetic? Is it that you are very, very relatable? Is it that you have a very rare expertise that gives you authority in your niche? Like, what exactly are your core creative advantages? Right now, there's ChatGPT. Right, I couldn't possibly put out all the possible questions you can ask yourself, but I tried to like make them as many as I could, so you can ask ChatGPT what are questions that you can use to identify your core creative advantage. Because at the end of the day, what we're trying to do is that we want to get to a point where you can combine all your multiple strengths and create a very unique mix of content, right? You know how we said we can mix our content styles, we can mix our content mode of expression, we can mix everything that we have spoken about earlier, right? So we can mix everything all together, right? So that you can have a content style that is long form content that also have short, scarby formats as well. That is very, very easy to bite-sized formats as well. That's very easy for you to enjoy. That's also very satiric as well as educational at the same time, right? You can have all of those things. Like you can combine all of this, but you need to know all your strengths, because as a creative, what makes you a creative is not because of you have one strength, not because of one thing, not because of you know one thing. Because I think the last week example I gave about the light skin girl that wanted to be, that is always sharing makeup, natural skin, natural looks for people that actually want to learn how to do that for different editions, different teams. She had the going to school, she had the going for graduation, she had the going for dinner night, all of that. This doesn't mean that she does not have all her interests, all her creativity is just makeup. No, her creativity is making video content. Her creativity is in having an amazing life that she's sharing story bits of it. Her creativity is in having, that wide sphere of options that she can do, right? That is an extension of your creativity. So it can never be one. You can never have one thing that you're good at. You always have multiple things. In as much, even if you don't have more than, you don't have up to 5, you always have up to 2, right? 2 and above, right? So creativity is always a mix and a combine of a lot of things, which is why you have to find what are your core creative advantages. Are you very funny? Are you very beautiful? Are you very witty? Are you so smart? Like, what exactly are your advantages? You have to find that. Like, it's very important that we all, we try to reflect on this, right? These decks will be available for you on Monday so that you can go through them, and find these questions, find these answers rather. Now, from muse to market, right? Which is the next one? Because we already spoke about the standard factor. The next thing is from muse to market. How do you now that we know what kind of content style that we should do, now you know content style, now you know your modes of expression. We already know the kind of content we're supposed to be creating already. We know that one already. Now we know how we're going to create those contents. We know all the house. Now, how do we take all of this things we have created now and take it to the markets? Which is where we come to niche clarity, right? Yeah, your muse is your creative identity, but your market is where you meet opportunity. A lot of talented creators still get stuck because they only create in passion niches, right? Without checking if they are in demand or they force themselves into demand niches they don't actually care about. And the real magic happens in the bridge niche where what you love overlaps what people want. I think this particular point, I was trying to summarize everything, and then I realized that, I was like, I need to actually expand this little to me more. Hence the following slides that follow. So let's just go into the next slide that we're talking about because they're very, very extensive. We have the passion niche, right? I know a lot of you guys are not expecting this. So what is a passion niche? I was expecting things like fashion niches, beauty, skincare. These are the niches that we all know. But you see, that is the general public's information. Now we're talking about the in-depth, like I said in the beginning of our class, but there's so many technical semantics that really holds a lot of creatives down and back because they don't know those things. And so you're working with the information that is, readily available to the whole entire world, but it's not, right? So we have 3 types of niches. The first niche is the passion niche, the demand niche, and the bridge niche. Now, what is the passion niche? Is what you naturally love to do. Of course, it's what you already have passion for, right? The passion niche are topics, themes, and subject areas that you could immerse yourself in for hours without feeling drained. There are things that you will talk about even if no one is actually listening to you, simply because they light you up. And these niches often come from your lived experiences and personal curiosity or lifelong interests, right? Those are your passion niche. The challenge here is that pure passion without market awareness can feel like you're shouting into the void. One of my biggest passion in life, I'm not going to lie to you, is history. I love history. I love talking about history, the history of Christianity, the history of Roman Empire, all anything that has to do with olden days things. Oh, I love it. If I don't want to talk about it now because I know if I start, I must open. So I love it even more than I love my job, right? I use history, learning about history to relax. Now, I do not love documentaries, right? Very weird, right? I think I don't like documentaries because documentaries are just a commentary video of a particular aspect of somebody to drive one key theme or two key themes, right? Which is why I prefer the olden days prime and proper research way, right? I go there, dig out everything I need to dig out, dig out all the information I need to dig out, learn new things, expand myself. I love history. This is a passion. This is even the highest passion for me. That is, if you know anything about me, if you know me in like this is we're friends now, guys. Like I am really expressing, I'm really exposing myself, right? In it, me, I tell me about history. Maybe give me a ring. Tell me this is ring made by the balsamic apple cider something. Sold. Hmm. Apologies. I'm sold. I will buy that thing with the last money I have in my account. I love it, especially when it's history things that even I personally, appreciate. But if I start now or create a video and telling me people that, do you know why Jack and Rose actually could have died, but Jack death was important, and now the whole debate of Jack and Rose is actually irrelevant because it's all fictional, and in fact, people are not going to believe it. People are going to scroll. They'll be like, "What's this one talking about? What's it concern me, Jack and Rose? I never chop. I never chop. Right? I still have Gary and water. I don't talk about Jack and Rose. I beg shame, right?" But people say, "Oh yeah, conspiracy theories up and down. Yeah, there are creators that are doing conspiracy." No, people say that they're not. That's not a niche that you can follow. They're all niches, but to my own personal strengths, to me as a person, to my personal strengths, that is not. That is literally the list of of the thing I should do. The list right now, because a lot of people will say, because when I speak about a lot about what you should do as a creator, what we tend to do, or what I have seen that most of us are doing, so we look at the thing that we love so much without even caring if this thing is even something that resonates with your already known strength, right? Say for example, we want to be a video commentator. Want to be a video commentator, you already know that you have to have a very mad ass video studio, creation studio, because how do you want to be commenting on somebody's video work when your own video work is not so good? Right? Very, very, very important. You should know. So you need to know your strength, know what you care about, and then find a bridge. We're gonna get there, right? So the next challenge is that people face when they only focus on their passion niche is that if there is no existing demand or your approach is too niched or is within a niche, growth will be slow. Right? Because like I said, people will say, okay, yeah, make conspiracy theory. But before I get to the point where people actually care about my conspiracy theory, is going to take a very, very long time. I know there's a particular lady on the internet that's always creating content about, the African slavery and how we shouldn't care about the white people and all of that. She has been building that stuff for the longest time. I remember seeing her content come up a few time ago before she even got this her new prime and proper studio, right? She had she was just doing her videos like very, uppity dumpty. Apologies for the yeah, I'm really losing my English today. Right? She did it the old fashioned way, right? And the growth was very slow, which is why I believe she went to and said, you know what? I need to talk about this. I need to educate the whole entire African race about what the white people did to us. And then she got a studio and then she upped her game. And even when she upped her game, it was still slow, until now that she really gets some of momentum. So see, it's gonna feel very slow to you, especially if it's just something that is just done by just mostly from your passion. But you also risk creating only for yourself. Right? Because really and truly, I know a lot of you guys do not have any interest whatsoever in the Ottoman Empire. But if you see me, oh my god. If you just mention Ottoman Empire and I ask you what do you find interesting about it, and you tell me whatever you find interesting, I already have a conspiracy theory against that thing you said. I know that I would oppose whatever you say about it because I know the agree, I know the opposing, right? That is how interested I am in history, right? But if I create content like that, it is my passion. It's only me that really won't care about it. And I know I said, you are the author, you are the finisher. But the same way that when God created Adam, right? He thought that, oh, it was just a man that is needed. Yes, he created Adam. He was like, yeah, be a man. But Adam was born and then God made Eve. We already know the story, so there's no need to go into the story. But so you see, but you need to creative, which you only create for yourself, which is fulfilling, but may not connect widely unless you bridge it to what your audience also wants. Now we go to the next one, demand niche. Demand niche is what people are actively searching for, right? Demand niche are topics that already have a very clear, measurable audience. People are already searching for them on Google, on TikTok, on YouTube, on Instagram, and they are following hashtags, they're joining communities, and actively engaging with related content. These niches have momentum built in you. This is you have momentum built in you. This is you have momentum built in. You just don't you don't so you don't need to convince people to care. They already do. Oh my god. It's like I'm not seeing this thing correctly. Apologies. So yeah, these are things of where we have that OOTD thing, right? We have concept like OOTD, we have get ready with me for maybe like a very famous event, maybe Chivido's wedding, get ready with me to go for Chivido's wedding in the UK, right? Is it US or the things in the US, right? Get ready with me to go there. These are already people are already searching for, people are already searching Chivido. So yes, create a content like that, right? This is why people feel like the need of jumping to every trend, because if there is an in-demand niche, people already asking for it, so it just makes sense to do that. But here's the challenge in that: when you continue to create content based on the demand, you're going to be burnt out. You will be burnt out, right? You will not be personally invested in it, right? You'll be focused on the topic at hand, the trend at hand, right? And the demand alone will not keep you going, right? The views will come, but the point will become so normalized that you wouldn't really care because it's not really fulfilling anymore, right? The competition are also very, very high, right? Because it's a very in-demand something. People are answering for it, so a lot of people are also doing it. So you can come up maybe using a very amazing video, but nobody actually sees you because there are like 5 people already posting like the video like in the next every 5 seconds, right? So you will need very, very strong things to make you stand out. That's why you see people start doing crazy things, right? I remember the Rema's competition for his Kelebul's music, the dance challenge, right? So many people did like crazy things. People went on the streets to start creating videos for dance challenge, right? So that they can take the demand, majority of it to themselves, even though that they know that they're not going to win. They try wanted that views so they can use it for whatever they wanted to use it for. We'll go into that in our platform in week 5. So that's basically one of the very, very bad challenge that when it comes to creating in-demand niches, right? Also, it's also feel like you're forcing yourself to talk about it, right? So it's not authentic, right? And your audience will pick on it. They will feel like yeah, she's forcing herself. It is very, very clear. Even you as an audience, you can tell when the creator is faking it. They're just trying to join the. Now I cannot give an example about this, and this is not. So we'll move on to the next one. The bridge niche. Now, this is where passion meets demand. Obviously, you already know this is the best. This is the best niche, right? My ad. This is the best niche, right? So the bridge niche is the intersection between what you genuinely love, your passion, and what people are already searching for, the demand. And the zone where your creativity feels energized for you and valued for your audience. You know, I keep saying it. Even though I wanted to post, something that people would, I wanted to post something that people would actually care about. So that is very, very important. Now, how do you find your bridge niche? The first thing you have to do to find your bridge niche, there's no challenge in bridge niche. Because I believe that, I think, well, that's what you're thinking, okay, what's the bad part? There's no bad parts. The best part is the best thing you can do. Now, how do you find your bridge niche? The first thing for you is to list your 5 passions, right? The topics that you can talk about endlessly, right? It's very important. The 5 things you can talk about, or 3 things you can talk about endlessly. Now, your research, then do your research on audience demand. What does the audience need? What are the trends that they are looking at? What are the common questions that people keep asking? You find that. Then you now look for the overlapping things where you find excitement in talking about it, and it also meets those audiences at the same time, right? So if you want to stand out, you have to add your unique style, your personality to your bridge niche, right? So people can cover the same topic, but your delivery perspective and your brand voice will make it what? Different. Which is going to take us to our next thing, developing our signature content style. Your signature content style, we've spoken about this last week as well, but we just covered the basis, right? Which is why I asked you guys to work on your signature style, right? Once they're going to develop your signature style even way more, there's still so much in your signature style. It will change so many times. It will be developed and developed over and over and over again. But one of the key things to developing your signature style is because one of the key things to know when developing your signature style is that once you have found your muse, that's your creative identity, and your bridge niche, where your passion and your demand niche meets together, it will not be time for you to package it all so that your audience will instantly recognize you. And it's not really about creating content consistency so it's about creating content consistency, because I'm like, what am I saying? So it's about creating content consistency without creative border, right? So what does this define? What's the definition of this? The definition of this is that your content style is your creative fingerprint, right? Is, you know how your fingerprint is different every single person? So it's very same, is different. Even if you're saying the same thing, we are both light skinned or are both women, our fingerprints are going to be different, right? Right? Your audience will instantly recognize you even before they even see your name, right? It is the combination of your creative identity, your personality, your strength, your passion, your niche, the space in the market that you're deciding to take. Whether you want to go into the fashion industry, inside that fashion is a niche, inside that niche, in that fashion niche. Yes, right? The space you're trying to take in that particular industry, you're trying to go, and then the pattern you want to use, your format, and the energy that you're going to use to deliver all of these things together. This is your own signature content style. We're talking about content style in broad in this particular class, but at the end of the day, understanding every single way that your content style can be developed and be made, right? Knowing how to create that signature one, that is one in a million, or the one that is just for you, is even way more important, right? So when you combine all these 3 things, when you combine your niche, your muse, your consistency, you will now create a style that is very, very authentic to you, that stands out in a crowded market. Because like I said a lot previously, that you need to stand out in the market. You are the son factor, is you, no other person, because there are like 5 people doing the exact same thing that look almost like you, right? And it is repeatable so that you can be able to sustain it long term. Even when you are tired, you can still repeat it as well. So you think of it as a signature outfit, right? Even if the colors are changing, your silhouette will always look the same. If you see me any day, anytime, even no matter the colors I decide to wear, I'm always wearing a jean. And it's I'm gonna change that. I'm gonna change that. But that is what I mean. That's what I mean when I say signature content style. Now, why is your signature style? Why does it matter? Now, without a signature style, right, you will blend in. As you already know, you blend in into the trend and you disappear with the noise. Your content was going to feel very, very scattered and very inconsistent. And people will follow you for just that one post. And then they will not even remember you after that. Right? Which is why you don't want virality. Right? You don't need virality. Because people will just follow you for that one post. And after that, they're like, oh, isn't that gay? I don't even know why I followed that. I've forgotten why I followed that. Right? But when you have a signature style, right, any post that you post will build a brand recall. Brand recall is when I can sit down here talking about something unrelated to gossiping, and I'm like, oh, something about gossiping, I remember Ada, right? Because sit down here talking about maybe health stuff, and the first person that comes to my mind is a doctor, right? That is what we call by brand recall, right? There are other people that will come to my mind if I constantly talking about medicine, but these are the first few people that are going to come up to my head. Then if you just say, okay, mention 5 influencers, right? Will your name be mentioned? Right? So that's what happens when you have a signature style. People can be able to like classify you to things, and they can keep you in that brain. The brain is very big. You can take a lot of information and they can keep you in that part of your brain, right? But with it also, you're able to attract the right audience naturally, which is all that, which is really what we want, right? And it will also save time because you're not reinventing the wheel daily. A lot of you guys are always explaining yourself in your video. Today I want to start a series talking about tomorrow. Today I want to start a series. I feel very bad for you, but so that's why we are doing this. So I really hope this really gives you a lot of insight. Moving on to our formats of finding your signature style. We have the first one. We have 3 things to finding your signature style. The first thing is your anchor format, right? Your anchor format is your recurring go-to types of content. These are the formats that you produce regularly so that your audience know what to expect, right? So you can choose 2 to 3 formats that fit in your strength and your niche. Now, let me give an example as to the anchor format I'm talking about. With the example of creator that I used last week, where we had a creator that was creating TikTok content for light skin girls that wanted to do natural makeup, right? Her first anchor format is definitely the tutorial, right? Showing you how to do the tutorial for a date night. Another format could be where she's like using a trending sound and she's talking about, maybe something related to date night or dating a man, right? She's using a trending sound. That's always there, right? That's already an in-demand niche that she's already tapping into. There's a lot of people that are using that, but mixed with her own stuff, with her passion. You can easily balance them. Then she can also add another format where, apart from the tutorial, where you are seeing her actually doing the stuff instead that she used to do it, she's also doing the tutorial. She's also talking about the process, what happened, like talking about a particular date that she's going to or what she's looking for that particular date. You see that these are 3 formats that she's using. Now, this anchor format is going to be your main guide that would carry the entirety of your content base. Right? So you can always experiment on your anchors, right? So you can have one main anchor and then you experiment on those anchors. But those anchors have to be interlocked, right? That's the most important thing. They have to be interlocked, right? The next thing is visual identity, right? That is the look and the feel of your content, right? This is how you post, how you stand out, the visual in the scroll. People should be able to recognize your work from just your thumbnail alone. Yes, that is the truth. People should be able to recognize your work from looking at your thumbnail, like the kind of thumbnail that you use. Which is why you have to provide that consistency throughout, right? from the kind of caption that you use, the kind of text format that you use, the colors of the text that you use, the font itself, it should be the same. It should be consistent. Your visuals. Are you always in your room when you're doing your videos? Are you in a place with a lot of sun? Are you outdoor? Are you indoor? Are you in the same room all the time? These are tiny visual cues that actually create a visual identity, right? Elements to define that is, for example, your color palette, are you always wearing the same colors all the time? Are you changing the color? Do you have a certain color palette that you follow? All of that good stuff, right? Your lighting style, right? Is it always natural? Is it daylight? Is it moody? Is it high key, studio lighting? All of those things. Your font overlay, right? Your composition of framing. Are you always having tight close up? Are you having wide cinema shots? Are you having graphic templates, right? So these are very integrate integrate ha intricate things, visual cues that builds your visual identity. I think my mouth is beginning to give up. I think my mouth is beginning to give up. Now the next is our voice identity, right? Voice identity includes our voice, includes our tone, our pacing, our humor, and the way you make people feel. The personality in your words and deliveries are very important, right? What people hear when they hear your voice, is it loud and joyful? Is it low and moody? Is it low and soft? Is it high and feminine, right? So that is also a very important thing. And your voice identity, like I said, it doesn't always has to be in the audio. It could be in your text, in what you write. But you can write a text and you can tell the person is angry. You can write a text and you can tell the person is very soft, right? It shows the kind of color that they use as well, right? So the question you can use to find and define your voice is: do you want to sound like a friend, somebody's friend? Do you want to sound like their mentor? Do you want to sound like an entertainer? Or do you want to sound like an expert, right? I want you to tell me, right? Tell me, what do you think I sound like? What do you think I sound like? Do I? Because I have an idea what I wanted to sound like. I have an idea what I wanted my voice identity to be. So tell me what you think. Let me see if I'm getting it right. I would like to know if I'm getting something right. Next is: are you conversational or are you structured? Right? That's what one of these you use to find or define your voice, right? Do you lean more to inspirational, informational, or humorous voicing? Right. So examples are playful and cheeky. For example, here's the thing nobody tells you, very, very playful. Or if you want to see results, stop doing this one thing. Right. That is direct, that's motivational. Right. You're doing better than you think. Right. You're doing better than you think. That's warm and encouraging. See, even these words, right? There's a way you will say it that you can say, here's the thing that nobody told you about. That is sassy. He doesn't say, here's it that nobody told you about. That was like calm and there's a way you can say it. It's all in the energy, it's all in the personality. You find the one that you want, you just find it by yourself and then you keep go with it. But the key takeaway it means like in associate, you're finding your anchor, your anchor format, you're finding your visual identity, you're finding your voice identity. Your signature content style is not just about looking good, right? It's about being recognizable and being repeatable, right? I think recognizable is something that we have said so many times and we'll continue to say because it's the main thing, right? So the goal is for someone to see your post and say, oh, yeah, this is you. It's definitely them, right? So before they even check your name. And that brings us to the last, that brings us to the end of this class. It has been an amazing time. I've had fun. I've had fun. So for our classes we have four questions that are here. I look forward to you submitting your assignment. This assignment is going to be due on Tuesday. Enough time, you have the entirety of the weekend plus Monday and Tuesday for you to do your assignment. So looking forward to seeing your sprints. And with that, I say see you in the next class. Bye.